What's going on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video, and it looked like Caitlin Clark has suffered yet another hard foul, and the referees failed to make a call.
The referees did nothing at all after Caitlin Clark was hit with bodies on live TV like it was WrestleMania rather than a WNBA game. Are the officials simply ardent Atlanta Dream supporters, or are they legally blind with selective hearing in any case? You won't believe what just happened in Atlanta, so fasten your seatbelts because this isn't just a basketball game. It's a full-on drama series in which Clark plays the star, the antagonist, and presumably the punching bag.
Can I say this? The Atlanta Dream, not quite Nate Tibbetts. If you guys know anything, like Nate Tibbetts, literally like he would throw 17 different looks at Caitlin per quarter. He would throw a different look at Caitlin every single possession. However,
the referees must have been watching a completely different game, or perhaps they believed they were officiating a WWE tryout. There she was, Caitlin Clark, the walking basketball highlight reel, breathing the same court air as the Atlanta Dream and somehow surviving what can only be described as an experimental contact sport because it appears the WNBA has subtly changed its name from professional basketball to professional body slamming.
Here and another case of WNBA referees dropping the ball, not making the right calls when it comes to Caitlin Clark. Bruh, how we one game away for the start of the season and we have already Caitlin Clark getting fouled extremely hard. Look back at the referee like, damn.
Let's establish the scene. Caitlin Clark, who just demonstrated that she possesses the shooting range of a military-grade sniper and the court vision of a hawk on espresso, enters the game with poise, skill, and the highly offensive tendency of making opponents appear like human traffic cones. This level of excellence is obviously unacceptable, so what did the Atlanta Dream do to improve their defense and modify their approach based on the tape?
How much of the jealousy of Clark is because of the insane amount of publicity she gets? How much of the jealousy is because she gets so much money from endorsements? How much of it is because she's white? How much of it because she's straight? I have no idea. And I have no idea what percentage of the women are jealous and to what degree. I can't get in their minds. I have no idea. I don't know if the black players are more jealous than the white players. They're all jealous. Well, I don't think all of them. Most of them seem to be. But all I know is that the refs, if the players are going to treat her, be physical with her, the refs have to protect her, not because she's Caitlin Clark, but because the fact that it's the right thing.
The referees react with the same vigor you'd expect from someone whose shift ended 10 minutes ago and who just wants to go home and forget this whole mess. They charge at her as if she stole their pre-game meal, and their general indifference screams, "I'm not getting paid enough for this." There's nothing to see here, people, just a top athlete being treated like she strolled into a Black Friday sale clearance bin where the only thing being discounted is respect.
Y'all got it. And that's exactly how I'm feeling right now, bro. Like, at this point, watch this play, guys. No call whatsoever. No call whatsoever. But they will call Caitlin Clark getting a technical.
We must now pose the difficult question. Are the referees truly watching the same game as the rest of us? Or are they on some sort of spiritual vision quest in the nosebleeds trying to find inner peace? Because Caitlin Clark wasn't just fouled. She received the full WWE treatment. Elbows to the ribs, shoulders to the chest, forearms to the face, basically, aside from a steel folding chair and a surprise tag team partner. How did the referees react with all the urgency and emotional investment of a sloth watching a televised game of golf? The Atlanta Dream's defense collapses with the grace and coordination of a full-court rugby scrum on roller skates, not with textbook positioning or strategic footwork. One defender lunges for the ball, another goes straight for her midsection like it's a WWE takedown, and a third apparently channels her inner Mortal Kombat character and performs a mid-air finishing move. The referee's inner monologue is practically audible and the crowd gasps, but in a professional WNBA game, it's not so much. It seems like she just tripped on her own greatness rather than being body checked into next week. The only thing more invisible than the foul was the official sense of duty.
WNBA referees' secret agenda against Caitlin Clark.
Moreover, let's not act as though this was a rare incident of refereeing indolence. Rather, it was a regular demonstration of referee improvisation regarding the rules optional contact encouraged fouls, which was a charming concept. Clark, let's face it, is made of tougher stuff than the referee's spines, so when Caitlin was dribbling up the floor and caught a shoulder check that would have resulted in a 15-yard penalty in the NFL, she bounced back up and continued. The referee closest to the hit stared blankly into the abyss, perhaps reevaluating all of the decisions made in life that had led up to this point. Meanwhile, you could almost hear the strategy being muttered on the Dream's bench. If you can't guard her, just deck her. It's denial in motion, not defense, and the officials have turned into bystanders wearing fluorescent shirts instead of enforcing the law.
One of the biggest hurdles for Caitlin Clark at Indiana Fever last season was the WNBA referees. Now, the front office made it their business to revamp the team, bring in more aggressive players to help them get further in the WNBA season and possibly win a WNBA championship. But before any of that stuff can even get done, we have to take a look at the misguided missile that can destroy everything this upcoming season, and that is the WNBA referees and this secret agenda.
Here's the punchline, though. Caitlin Clark played brilliantly despite being targeted like a piñata at a frustrated defender's birthday party, because, of course, she did. Even if handlers who obviously skipped fragile training threw her around like luggage at the airport during the game, she would still manage to run the offense with machine-like precision. No scratch that more like symphonic grace because of the way she finds her teammates, which isn't just basketball. It's jazz in motion, free-flowing and unpredictable yet masterfully composed, while defenders appear to be stuck buffering in slow motion. While everyone else is still trying to figure out where the ball went, Clark is out there calculating passing angles with the cold precision of a quantum computer and the flair of a street magician. Let's talk about statistics now, because they don't lie. Even when referees trip over their own whistles or decide that body checking is ostensibly legal. Clark didn't just survive the chaos she caused, though.
For fans, we got another W in the preseason against the Atlanta Dream, 81-76. There's a lot that went on in this game. So this was a very competitive game. All the way through, they were given full court defense on Caitlin Clark. For the most part of the game, the starters did sit after three. Caitlin Clark finished with 13, 7, and 6. She could have had 12 to 15 assists. Wait until you see the highlights. She did drop a couple bombs. She hit 3 3-point.
Clark dropped dimes all over the court like Oprah handing out cars left-handed, right-handed, behind the back through the legs of defenders who were too busy trying to box her out of existence to notice their own shoelaces were untied. She didn't just see the floor. She choreographed it like a resentful ballet director, and when the Dream tried to double-team her, she sliced through them like she was holding a lightsaber at a fencing match. The crowd could practically hear the whoosh every time she passed defenders, frozen somewhere between amazement and despair every time Atlanta attempted to rattle her with a defensive move that suspiciously resembled a hockey check from the 1998 Red Wings. With a cool, slightly angry look that said, "Is that all?" Clark dismissed it like lint on a black sweater.
If this would have been a regular season game, I believe Caitlin Clark very much flirts with a triple-double in this game. If this is a regular season game, because she was heading down that road, she only played 20.
She drained threes with the composed, meticulous, and somewhat irritated demeanor of someone repairing a jam printer. She had to do it herself, and each shot dropped so neatly that it appeared as though she was putting them there with tweezers. The Dream's bench had that collective weave made a terrible mistake expression, and her defenders carried the body language of people who had just learned that their car was towed during brunch, slouched shoulders, 1,000-yard stares, and the grim realization that they had to keep guarding her for another quarter. Clark wasn't just in control. She was conducting a clinic, and the Dream, they were paying full price for the lesson. No rim, no drama, just net swish after swish while her defenders stood around like they were waiting for a bus that wasn't coming.
Clark, in 23 minutes of play, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. In 23 minutes, Caitlin Clark already shows all of us who are watching along, stay tuned, folks. Multiple triple-doubles are coming this season.
And the offense wasn't the only one. Clark played defense as well, anticipating cuts, closing out on shooters, and even pulling down rebounds in traffic, like she was casually reaching for cereal in a crowded aisle while being hit, shoved, nudged, clipped, and occasionally mistaken for an obstacle to hurdle over. By halftime, you would expect her to be in the locker room with ice packs and legal counsel, but instead she returned with a smile on her face because, apparently, when you're built differently, referees treating you like a piñata just becomes a part of your warm-up routine. Let's take a moment back to the officiating because the comedy writes itself. At one point, an Atlanta player literally swiped Clark across the arms during a three-point attempt. The classic, glaringly clear textbook "the whistle" is currently on vacation.
Caitlin Clark, in 23 minutes of play, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. In 23 minutes, Caitlin Clark already shows all of us who are watching along, stay tuned, folks. Multiple triple-doubles are coming this season.
And it's not just physical, it's psychological as well. When a league permits this kind of behavior to go on, it sends the message, hey, go ahead and treat our top talent like a chew toy, we're cool with it. Imagine telling the game's future stars to stop worrying about their skill set and just learn to absorb contact like a crash test dummy. Meanwhile, the broadcast crew was obviously uncomfortable. You could hear them slowly drifting from game analysis to light. One of them even let out an audible "wah" after yet another hit that didn't get called. You know things are bad when announcers sound like they're watching a car chase, and still the Atlanta Dream can almost hear them asking themselves, why won't she just stop being good? As Caitlin Clark continues to play, score goals, and make the defenders look like they took the wrong bus to the wrong game. She doesn't lash out, flop, or complain to the referees like a soap opera star. The answer is straightforward. She is Caitlin Clark, and since every play is a highlight, her game requires a camera rather than the approval of a referee.
23 minutes, wait until I'm playing 30 plus. Wait until I'm playing 35 minutes. Wait until my chemistry with my teammates are all the way there. Wait until Stephanie White fine-tunes this offense around me a little bit more, tweak something here, tweak something there, and we get really into the swing of things. If you're a Caitlin Clark fan, an Indiana Fever fan, you got to be happy with what you're seeing from Caitlin Clark.
And it's not just physical.
In a moment that could only be described as desperate and theatrical, the Atlanta Dream had tried every possible strategy by the fourth quarter, with the exception of calling in a superhero. They used full-court pressure, defensive switches, double teams that appeared to be triple teams, and more. At one point, you half expected a team manager to don a jersey and jump into the fray like it was a Marvel crossover episode. At half court, the Dream literally surrounded her like a celebrity entourage facing a scandal, and Caitlin Clark didn't flinch. Instead, she delivered a perfectly timed and spicy back pass that could have been considered a controlled substance. You could almost hear the crowd gasp in unison, part in awe, part in disbelief. Yes, the Dream lost spectacularly because, even though you can throw bodies at brilliance, you can't contain it. You can shout down greatness from the bench, but you can't stop it from lighting up the scoreboard like a fireworks finale. Dream may have played hard, but Caitlin Clark was doing more than simply playing basketball. She was exorcising uncertainty one assist and deep three at a time.